Hello dear students, we are going to see about the introduction to object oriented programming. We are here with this next video which is talking about object oriented programming concepts. Before that, the review of the last video, that was various type of languages: machine, assembly, procedure, object oriented. We have seen different programming paradigms like unstructured, structured, modular, object oriented and generic. We have identified the need of object oriented programming to overcome the limitations of procedure oriented programming, and major that is only due to the global data access the problem exists in POP, which can be overcome in OOP. Next, we are going to know about details, that is fundamentals of object oriented programming. So, outcome of this session, you will be able to be acquainted with the details of fundamentals of OOP. There are 7 fundamentals of OOP which goes on objects, class, data encapsulation, data abstraction, inheritance and polymorphism. So, what is an object? If you see that a student can be an object, accounts section can be an object, a faculty section can be an object, and each of the section has its own data, has its own member function. A student has its own roll number, name and so on. Account section can have the details of the financial plan and so on. The department can have the data of all the students or all the subjects which the course teachers teaches. So, that is why I can say there are different objects, each can have its own data, its own function. Here analogy can be considered, which I already discussed, that is student data can be having a secretary, financial data can have chief accountant, financial assistants, whereas a department can have HOD and department staff. So, object can be a physical object, it can be computers, human entities or collection of data which is there, and many more. So, basically the object definition is known as runtime entity. Now, why runtime entities? Because these are the entity which collects the data and function, and they take up the space inside the memory at runtime. That is why objects are said to be basic runtime entity, and they are also known as a physical instance of a class. So, what can be an object? You can see operations and attributes together make an object. So, consider that I am taking attributes like name, ID, branch, semester. This can identify a student object which has different functions like enroll, display information, result or show the performance. Now, the second object comes, that is class. So, class is defined as a user defined data type because it defines the object and hence type of object. That is why it is said to be user defined data type. We define the class, that is why it is known as user defined data type. It is also known as collection of similar type of objects because there can be number of objects. For example, as you can see that if fruit is a class, mango, apple, orange are the similar type of objects. Which are all similar type of fruits, but they are not same type of fruit, they are just similar, all are actually fruits itself. So, I can say fruit is a class where mango, apple and orange are the instance of class fruit, which are known as objects. So, here when I am saying a class, out of the class many objects can be constructed. I can have 1, 2 or 3 objects or n number of objects of one single class, and each object will have its own data, its own function. I can say that is why that class is a collection of similar type of objects. So, first concept comes with object, second class, third we come with encapsulation. Encapsulation means combining the data as well as function, that is logic together. This is termed as what? Encapsulation, which gives an result as a class or an object. So, enclosing of both variables and function together into a single unit, just hiding the details from the user and allowing the modularity is known as encapsulation. So, you can see here that attributes and functions are combined into one to identify a class, that is student. This process is known as encapsulation. Next concept comes with abstraction. Data hiding is a concept of encapsulation, but abstraction provides the implementation detail hiding. That is, it asks you to think what you can do to a collection of data independently of how you do that particular thing. So, next concept comes, we have seen object, class, encapsulation, abstraction. Next concept comes with inheritance. Inheritance means, for example, as you see over here, the cylinder is similar thing which is which has a circular shape. That is why I can say cylinder, circle and shape is one type of descending sequence and ascending sequence, whereas cube is a part of a square, whereas square is a part of a shape. So, I can say that shape is sharing its all the common properties with square and circle is sharing its own property to cylinder, square is sharing its own property to the cube. So, I can say that there is a commonality among the objects in case of inheritance, and which allows the code to reuse. That again and again whatever shape has done, that has not to be done by circle. Circle can add its own feature, just giving a specialization to that. This is known as what? Generalization and specialization relationship. So, for example, if there is a point and from the point you draw a line. So, I can say that line is made up of different points points which have a similar property. So, I can say point is a base class and line is a child class or derived class which has derived its features from the point. Next concept which comes is polymorphism, which is having the ability of objects to respond differently to the same message or function call. So, suppose if I am acting as a teacher, I can act as a mother, I can take many forms. So, many forms is actually known as polymorphism. So, if I am taking a plus operator can add two numbers, it can also add two strings. That is why I can say that plus can act as many forms. This is known as polymorphism. Next comes with binding. Binding means what? Linking process. When you link a code with its call, procedure call, that type of linking is known as binding. And if this binding takes place at run time, at execution time, this is known as dynamic binding. So, dynamic binding is actually the process of linking the code with a procedure call at run time. The process of invoking an operation on an object is actually known as message passing. So, you can see that one message can pass to another through the different types of objects. So, I can summarize it that object is known as an instance of a class. Class is a blueprint of an object. Encapsulation is protecting our data. Polymorphism means different behaviors at different instances. Abstraction is hiding the relevant data and implementation details, and inheritance means sharing of one property to another object. Thank you, dear students. Have a wonderful day.